down a bit. Okay, this is not a sneak peek. This has actually been on the website for ages. I believe this one was actually on sale last Sunday. That's when I grabbed it. But hello everybody. I'm just gonna go throw on, I'm running a little bit behind today, so I'm gonna go throw on my first outfit for the day and I'll be right back. So you guys just hang out for 2 seconds while I get dressed. Funny enough, my entire outfit today is actually LLB. It's just not things that are dropping recently. I think the jeans I was wearing earlier, these are my jeans. Those are probably, they're Judy's, but they're from like, oh, I don't know, like 2.5, maybe even almost 3 years ago now. So I don't know if I'd quite call them vintage Judy's, but they're definitely a throwback for sure. Okay. Let me see what I've got for today. Yeah, that's launched. Got this one. The Leons, is that these? Yes, they are. Fiction strip sweater. It's this one and this one. Okay, cool. I was just making sure I had everything in order. There's a lot of stuff dropping and like definitely a lot of pink today, which I am excited about. Oh, it's these jeans today. Hell yeah. Okay, let's start with this and the sweater because I'm not warm yet, and that'll help me warm up and then not get too hot. Perfect. All right, hello everyone, I'm almost there. Just give me 2 seconds. I was running a bit behind this morning. As many of you know, I work very nearby to the boutique. My office is literally around the block from the boutique. And this past week, like last week and then up till yesterday are the busiest time of the year for me because I work as an environmental scientist, and March 31st is a big deadline for reporting for a lot of regulatory stuff for the province. And so I help with the final submission entries for the reports that actually like how they get sent to the regulator. So that means I am the last stop for a lot of these reports. Sorry, I'm just playing with my cameras real quick. I'm the last person that a lot of these reports go through before they get to the regulator, which means that I end up being involved in a lot of different projects just at the very last stages. And that means I also get everything at the 11th hour because it has to go through everything else before it gets to me. So I was incredibly busy yesterday. Been working a lot of overtime the last few days. I'm very tired. So apologies if I look a little tired. It's because I am. I've been working like crazy. Like I said, it's my busiest like week of the year for environmental stuff. So and also I was just wrapping up a few loose ends this morning and looked at the time and it was like 10:50 and I was like, oh shoot, I gotta get to the boutique. So here I am. Thank you. Thank you, Abby. I appreciate it. I guess, yes, I am hot and smart. My husband is very lucky, but he is also hot and smart. So I guess I'm lucky too. Okay, good morning everyone. Welcome. My name is Michelle. I am the 3X model here at Lavender and Lace Boutique. I typically wear a 3X top and bottom. I typically wear a size 18W in Judy Blues or a 2X in their shorts. And height-wise, I'm 6'1", so I'm very tall. Let's hop into it because I am definitely, we're 11:07 and I haven't even talked about an outfit yet, so we might as well start with what I've got on here today. I will talk about the jeans after I put on a different top just so we can see them a little bit better because these jeans are so cool. I absolutely love these, but we'll go on with this adorable pink striped sweater. This one is the Reflection striped sweater in pink, and it is very, very pink. I'll get up close so that we can see. The lighter pink is like a very, very, very baby pink. It's like off-white pink, and then we have a more like bubblegum pink as the darker color. It goes really well with my scrunchie today, actually. I happen to have like a really pink scrunchie in my hair. So this is the Reflection Striped Sweater. This one's retailing for $69 and is available in sizes small through 3X, and that includes both an extra large and a 1X for this one, which is always a nice addition. This one has a very like relaxed type fit, borderline oversized, but I like wearing my typical 3X, my true size for this one, because I like how drapey and drop the shoulder is. I like the length, I like the sleeve length, I like going for that intentionally relaxed fit. So I still went with my 3X for this one. Good morning, Brenda, how are you? Hello. Good morning, Stacy. Thank you. I do love pink. I wear a lot of pink, both in my like professional wardrobe and in my personal wardrobe too. Right, Terry? I love this sweater. It's so pretty. So this one is 90% acrylic, 10% cotton. You can tell just there's a little bit more stretch and just a little bit more of that fun like drapiness and hang from having that little bit of cotton natural fiber in it, which is really nice. And it does have a pretty wide knit to it, so it does feel like it is still going to be quite breathable, which will be a good like spring transition sweater. So this one we say true to size with it being a intentional relaxed fit. So Christine wears the small, Carrie is in the medium for this one, Melissa wears the 1X for this one, and then I am in my typical 3X for this one. I could size down to a 2X if I wanted it to be a little bit more of a fitted look, but again, it is that relaxed kind of style. So I kept my usual 3X. I like how long the sleeves are. I like how much drop I get in the shoulder with my typical 3X for this one. So again, this is the Reflection Striped Sweater in pink, very pink, $69, sizes small through 3X, and we all take our typical sizes for this one, with Melissa opting for the 1X as opposed to the extra large in this one, because she too liked that kind of relaxed fit for this one. All right, I'm gonna put on a tank top now, and that way I'll kind of have it tucked up in the front, and then we can talk about the jeans and get into it. I am obsessed with these jeans. I am a little bit baffled because I'm not sure if anyone here has ever heard of the barrel jean. The barrel jean is a really big trend, especially with Gen Z, but I feel like it's one of those kinds of jeans where I've only ever really seen it on TikTok or Instagram on these women that are like my height, but like 130 pounds soaking wet, like very tall, very slim. Very like that like typical like fashion blogger influencer build. So I didn't think that I would like them. These are a bit on the milder side for a barrel jean. So what a barrel jean is the idea is that when you stand with your legs together, that it's kind of shaped like a barrel. So they're fitted in the hips. They kind of come out around the thigh, only on the outside though. The inside is kind of like a straight cut, and they come out on the thighs around, and then kind of come back in the mid-calf area. So they're not quite like a jodhpur or something like that, where it's only, or like the mountie pants, where it's, which is a jodhpur, I guess, where it's only the thighs. It's kind of like the whole shape of the pant silhouette is like out and then back in, kind of tapering at the ankles. So as a curvy girl, I did not think I was going to like these, but I absolutely love these. I think what this specific cut of barrel jean does for me is very similar to what like the dad jean does for other people, because I found that dad jeans haven't been my favorite because to me they kind of just, they're like a straight cut on me. But I think that this one having just that little bit of oomph, because for me having like a very like straight shape already, the dad cut doesn't give me the cool like baggy vibe that they do on others. For me, they just kind of look straight and they just kind of keep that vibe, is that this gives me a little bit more of that baggy vibe because it's not just a straight cut on the outside, and it just gives me a really interesting shape. I thought they would make me look really bottom heavy, especially having a little bit of an apron belly. I'm not quite what I wouldn't describe myself as an apple shape, because I am still like, my waist is still quite like in line with everything. I'm more like a ruler shape, but I feel like these just kind of give me curves in places I wasn't expecting, and I find them to be way more flattering and way more fun than I thought they'd be. So let me get into the details on these ones. So these are the Leons, or in other words, the GD Blue High Rise Side Panel Barrel Leg Jean. These ones are retailing for $99, and they're available in sizes 0 through 15 and then 14W through 22W. So almost the entire GD Blue size range. We just don't have that that 24W for these ones, but we have everything else. Honestly, Abby, it's funny because I have one pair of wide leg jeans from Risen, and I wore them the other day when it was just when the snow was melting and stuff, and the bottoms got so wet, and it just gave me flashbacks to childhood of the super wide jeans and how our flared jeans would always just be like a couple inches like wet up from them like dragging on the ground. And it was kind of funny because I'm like, I forgot what this feels like. But yeah, I typically stick to skinnies as well, which is why I was like very pleasantly surprised by these ones. Hi Brenda, good afternoon to you too. It's still technically morning for me, but I'm sure it's afternoon where you're at. So hopefully you're having some gorgeous weather. The weather here is finally nice. We had a big dump of snow on Thursday, Friday, but now the weather is fantastic. So again, these are the Leons. They are this kind of light to medium wash here. And then we do have this side paneling that kind of gives them the barrel effect. We can see that it kind of widens out over the sides, and that's what kind of makes it poof out. We can see it come across the front here on either side. We have just a little bit of whiskering and then some fading on the thighs. And then if I turn around to the back, we can see where that other panel starts on the side and then comes down towards that, and that's what's giving it that kind of wide barrel leg effect for these ones. Like I said, I was not expecting the barrel shape to work for me, but I put these on and I was absolutely blown away. I'm obsessed with them. I think they're super cute. They're super trendy. Is this a pair of jeans that's going to stay in style indefinitely? Probably not, but I do think that this is a more accessible take on like the very dramatic barrel jean that we have. Like if you like Google barrel jean, you're gonna see some like really dramatic stuff. Those I think are more of a fast fashion things, because these are a more toned down version of that. And like I said, on me specifically, they kind of just give like relaxed dad jean vibes. I do think that these are going to have a little bit more sustainability in your closet, and they're a wash that's going to be really easy to work around for a lot of different outfit pairings as well. So again, these are the Leons, aka the Judy Blue high rise side panel barrel legs. These ones are retailing for $99, and they are available in sizes 0 through 15 and then 14W through 22W. I didn't mention what sizes everyone's wearing. I'm wearing my typical 18 for these ones, and we found that these ones in the plus were kind of pretty typical. So Melissa's in her typical 14, I'm in my typical 18. And then in the straight sizing, Carrie and Christine actually both opted to go with their smaller sizes. So Christine took the 1 and Carrie is wearing the 7 in these ones. So if you're between sizes in the straight sizes, you could probably opt to go with your smaller size. And then we say true to size for the plus ones. Like again, I'm wearing the 18s. I would not be able to size down to a 16 in these, and my 20 would definitely be too big. So true to size for these ones for the plus run. Usually we found lately it's been the opposite, where you can size down in plus, but the straight sizes are the same. So interesting that with this specific cut, it's the opposite. All right, next let's move on to this adorable tank top. This is the Haley James tank in light pink. This one's retailing for $39, and we have it available in sizes small through 3X. That is a 1X large as the median size for this one. And we all wear our typical sizes for this one. It's definitely a more fitted style, and it is true to size. So Christine in the small, Carrie in the medium, Melissa wears the 1X, and I am in the 3X for this one. This is our ribbed fit that we are used to seeing from, is this one Hamish or Zanana? I think it's Hamish. That looks like a Hamish label. I've gotten to the point where I don't even need to like fully pull it out. I can usually just kind of see the first like little bit of the font. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a Hamish label. So we've definitely seen this ribbed texture with the little wigglies before, but this one is a little bit lighter than some of the others. Like some of the ribbed fabric we've been getting like this is more like almost like a light sweatshirt material. This thickness, this one is definitely more t-shirt thickness, so it's not going to be too warm coming into the spring and summer, which is good. I also love the length on this one. This one is definitely longer in the torso, and if I turn to the side, you can see it's pretty much the same length front and back, and we do have this little bit of a scoop on the side. It's not giving me 100% bum coverage on the back, but it's pretty close. And again, me being pretty tall means that for most folks, it is probably going to get at least almost to the bottom of the butt. So again, really nice length on this one. It would be really great for layering, but I also like that because it is a more slim fit, even though it's long, if you were to tuck it into a pair of pants, you're not going to get like that awkward wrinkle in the bottom because there's not so much extra fabric from having to tuck in. So it's really versatile for you to layer over top or to still be able to tuck it into something. It does have that higher kind of tank neck in the back, and then it does have these really nice wider tank straps, so this one's going to be easy to wear and give you lots of coverage if you're in an office like me where we're pretty casual on our dress code, but we do have like no bra straps showing, no spaghetti straps. So this is a tank that I would definitely be able to wear to work very comfortably. And honestly, because I wear a lot of pink in my work wardrobe, this would fit in just fine. It also has this, this kind of finished, or I guess it's like a serged finished seam on the shoulder cuffs and on the neck cuff here, just to provide a little bit of extra texture, which is really cute. So again, this is the Haley James tank in the shade light pink. $39 for this one, sizes small through 3X, and we all wore our typical sizes for this one. All right, I still have a buttload of tops to get through today. This is the only pair of jeans, so these ones are gonna be staying here for a while for today, but we have like 3 or 4 more tops, so I'm just gonna keep on motoring. It's funny because my sweatshirt that I started the live in, like I said, it's from Lavender and Lace, but it's one of the our ready to wear, the corduroy sweatshirts. Not part of this drop, but it very well could have been with how like pink themed everything is today, and it's the red to pink gradient one. This is probably the least pink item on the drop today, and it's still very pink, so that's just a sign of how pink everything is today. Okay, so this one is the Janessa floral top in pink. Okay, ladies, tell us the labels. It helps me figure out if I bought other items. Oh, absolutely. I usually try to remember or try to say which brand it is, especially if it's especially if it's like Hamish or Zenana, because you're right, like I definitely find that their sizing is very, very consistent, Hamish especially. Like I know if a piece is Hamish, like there's a 99.5% chance that I'm wearing my typical 3X in that, which is fantastic. Zenana, usually I think there's the odd time where I've sized down to a 2X, and there's the odd time where even a 3X item hasn't been quite for me, very rarely. But and there's a couple brands too that I find tend to fit a little bit big. One of them is, we haven't had anything from them in a few weeks, but there was that Mito shop, and they only went up to a 2X, but their 2X fit like a 3X, kind of like Dex. So I always made sure to mention that. So I will try to include that. I'm glad that that makes it a lot easier for you. And speaking of, I believe this top is, this is Haptics, which is another one of our brands. We usually get a lot of dresses from Haptics. And I do find that I typically wear a 3X for Haptics, occasionally could size down to a 2X depending on the item. But anyways, this is the Janessa floral top in pink. This one's retailing for $46, sizes small through 3X, and the median size for this one is a 1X for this one. This one has a little bit more of a relaxed fit, but we still stay true to size, and everyone is still wearing their typical sizes. So Christine is a small, Carrie's a medium, Melissa wears the 1X for this one, and I'm in my usual 3X. So while the sleeveless top like the other one, this one has a very different cut. This one is definitely more of a boxy, like almost like muscle tank cut, but not quite. It is definitely a boxier cut. You can say, like, if I hold out like this, you can see it is like very square, hanging from my shoulders. It does have these wider armholes and very broad shoulders, not quite a cap sleeve. Again, it's almost like a muscle tank, but not quite. It has the finished edges on the end here, and then it's not quite a cropped length, but it is, again, it's hitting kind of right at my natural hips. So part of it might just be my height, that it's looking like it's almost a little bit cropped, but I think part of that is also just because of the boxy fit and for how long my torso is, you really get that kind of like squared off effect. I think that this would, because it is a little bit more on the boxy side, especially if you are a little bit more rectangular shaped like I am, this with a pair of leggings or skinny jeans and then like a cool like wider boot to kind of play on the shapes would be a really fun way to wear this one. I also like that despite having more squareness in the cut and in the ribbed fabric, we are getting a little bit of roundness and softness in the pattern, being floral and bright and tropical. And otherwise, I think if this was monotone or if this was a more angular pattern, it might be like quite harsh in how angular it is. But because we've got like the pinks and the corals and the flowers against the like the rigidity of the square shape and then the ribbing, it kind of, it's a contrast, and I think it's really, really fun for this one. Again, I think that with a pair of skinny jeans and like a cool pair of like higher boots or like a cool like wide boot, I think that would be a really cool way to style this. So again, this one is the Janessa floral top in pink. I think I did a 360 in this one. Yes, I did. Okay. $46 for this one. It's one from the brand Haptics. Sizes small through 3X. It is a little bit more of a relaxed fit, but we say true to size, so we all took our regular sizes, which includes myself, in the 3X. I could probably size down to a 2X if I didn't want it to be as boxy. It would definitely be a more fitted look, but I do think that the shoulders might kind of hit in an awkward place if I were, so I'm going to stick with the intentionally like relaxed fit and say that this is the 3X is my go-to size for this one. Okay, we have yet more tops to try, so let me be right back. Okay, we've got 2 t-shirts. Oh, this one's so cute. This one is also from the brand Haptics that I'm putting on here. Oh, I love it. I am a sucker for a cute like puffy sleeve or a flutter sleeve. I've talked about flutter sleeves so many times on my lives, but this is also adorable. It's like the t-shirt version of the heart sweater with the puffy sleeves that came out for Valentine's Day. Same kind of silhouette with the short, like the t-shirt sleeve, but it being puffy. My hair, my ponytail is doing all kind of weird things. Sorry about that. But super adorable. I mean, I guess maybe the last top was a bit more pink than this one, but I mean, we still have lots of pink in this daily drop. So this one here is the Shayla striped top in heather gray and pink, which makes sense. So that is definitely how I describe these colors. This one's retailing for $39. Sizes small through 3X, and the medium size is a 1X for this one. Definitely true to size. I like the fit of this. It's not really relaxed, but it's also not super form-fitted or slim fit either. I would say it's just kind of like your typical basic go-to t-shirt kind of vibe. True to size, so Christine's in the small, Carrie is in the medium, Melissa wears the 1X, and I am in the 3X for this one, and I definitely would not size up or down. Even if the option to size up was there, I would not size down to the 2X. I definitely think this is my true size. There is this really fun bunching and ruffling on the sleeve here to give it that ruffled effect. I do find that after I put it on, I have to kind of like play with it a little bit, just kind of like bunch it and pull it to kind of get the ruffles to sit the way that I want them. But then once I get them where I like them, there's still lots of room in the sleeve. They're not tight. I was worried that because they're kind of puffy at the top, they might kind of be tight in the cuff to kind of accommodate for that and to keep the ruffles, but that is not the case at all. There's still lots of stretch. The sleeves are very comfortable. I like the length of the sleeve as well. They're a little bit longer for an average t-shirt sleeve, which I think it kind of has to be to give you enough room to get the puffy effect and still work. In terms of the t-shirt itself, it is like everything other than the sleeves. It is just a very typical like crew neck classic cut t-shirt. There's no scalloping or anything on the sides. It is basically the same length in the front as it is in the back, and it's just straight across. And in terms of length, again, I would say very like typical t-shirt. It's not really long, it's not cropped either. It's kind of exactly what you would expect for a t-shirt. This would be good that you can still tuck it up for like a mid to high waisted pant, and you would still be able to tuck this in really easily because it is a little bit more fitted without being like super tight. This would be a good way to wear both over top or tucked into your jeans or your pants, which is great. I always like when that's an option, especially with because now is the season where you would start wearing lighter pants, like canvas pants, or like the McBeals or the Carrie work pants. And I find with those, sometimes if you have a top that has a lot of extra fabric and you tuck it in, because those pants are a lighter material, you can really see it. This would be great tucked into those because there's not going to be so much extra material that it's not going to leave that like line of bunching that you can see from tucking it in. So again, this is the Shayla striped top. My Shayla. It's a meme. I don't know if anyone's going to understand my Shayla, but this is the Shayla striped top in heather gray and pink. This one's retailing for $39. Sizes small through 3X, and we all wear our typical sizes for this one. Okay, I think I have one more top, and there's also a dress? I don't think I have the dress on my rack. I might have to go search for it because I don't see it here. Because there is apparently a fuchsia dress. So actually, I'm gonna go see if that's just hanging on the rack over here, and I'll be right back. Okay. So I found the dress, but I only found the 2X. I did not find a 3X, but it is the brand Haptics, and occasionally in their dresses I can wear the 2X. So I'm going to try this on. I'm going to do the other top first, but I'm going to try the dress in a moment. Is that the 3X on Melissa's rack? Did that get put on her rack by mistake? Because hers should be the extra large. No, that's the 1X. Okay, I'll try on the 2X. I wonder if it's one of those things where maybe this one only came up to a 2X, but like I said, I have sized down in Haptics dresses before, so I suspect that might be the case here, especially if they have both an extra large and a 1X. Okay. But before we get there, let's do the last t-shirt that I have for this drop. This is the Sawyer striped top in mauve. So we had the Sawyer striped top in black lunch last week. That's the one that I had teased a little bit earlier where it was the black and white stripes. This is the same one, but instead of a black stripe, we have this gorgeous mauve striping. I think I saw they did a really good job of aligning the stripes. Oh, that's totally fair, Melissa. That's something that definitely bothers me as well. And this top, actually, this is one that I really appreciate. They did that too, where they aligned it as best they could, like with the actual neckline, and then everything is really straight. It's not quite meeting on the sides, but it's pretty close. But I agree. Oh, this side's actually really good, but I agree. I like when the stripes actually like meet up on the side. It's very satisfying. So again, this is the Sawyer stripe top. This one is available in sizes small through 3X. I'm wearing my typical 3X for this one, and this one is more of a relaxed fit. It's kind of fitted up in the shoulders and the chest, and then it makes kind of an A-line silhouette as it falls down. So this one is true to size as well. Everyone wears their typical sizes, with Christine in the small, Carrie in the medium. Excuse me, I am so sorry. Melissa's in the 1X, and I am in my typical 3X for this one. This one is very generous with the length as well. It does have a little bit of the scoop on the side, and even I am getting booty coverage with this one, so this is going to be like borderline tunic length for those of you that don't have super long torsos like I do. Even for myself, this is a really great length, and like I said, it has that really gorgeous, like flattering A-line fit, especially with the way that the scalloping works. It just has that really nice way that it flows out and kind of just like skirts over the hips and everything. It's just a really comfortable, really flattering t-shirt. I love how it just kind of like glides over the abdomen as well. It doesn't really like stick to the stomach or anything. This is definitely a great shirt to wear if you have any like big meals planned, if you're gonna have a little bit of a bloated stomach from eating a lot. This is one of those kind of shirts, this and baby dolls, where it just kind of like hides all of that. I know with Easter coming up, that with big feasts coming up for that, that's always something to consider. I'll get up close again just so we can see the color that is in the striping here. It is this really gorgeous like mauve, or even like a dusty rose color. It's a little bit more subtle than the black one was, but it still just kind of gives really nice basic neutral. It's not so pink that it's going to be hard to style. It's still a really accessible, and it almost pulls neutral from a distance because it is kind of like a blush undertoned kind of pinky color for this one. So again, this is the Sawyer striped top in mauve. $36 for this one. Size is small through 3X with a 1X as that median size. And it is $36. We're all wearing our typical sizes for this one. All right. Apparently there is a 3X in the dress. I just couldn't find it up here for some reason, but I have the 2X, so I'm going to try that one on. So that is the last piece that is launching today, is the Sage Blossom Fit and Flare mini dress. I'm going to try that one and I'll be right back. Because yeah, it says there's a small, medium, large, a 1X, a 2X, and a 3X, and the 1X was on Melissa's rack. And then I found the 2X, so I don't know what happened to the 3X, but we are going to try the 2X and see how it goes, because there has been times with haptics dresses in the past where I have actually preferred to size down to the 2X anyways, so we'll see. And even if I try on the 2X, if I think I would prefer the 3X, at least I can advise on that, because the 3X does allegedly exist according to the app on the iPad there. It claims the 3X exists, it's just somewhere I'm not sure of. What might have happened is if it went live during, because we have our shop ahead option during the Monday Night Lives, where if you watch along with Carrie and Christine as they do the Monday Night Lives, as we go through the weekly drops for each day, the daily drops I should say, you can purchase just while that portion, like as soon as that day comes live, the pieces, a selected quantity of them become available to purchase. And then after the live is finished, the pre-shop is over, and it hops over and then the rest has to wait until the actual weekly launch. So I wonder if somebody purchased one of the 3Xs during the Monday Night Live last night, and so it got pulled off my rack. That's my assumption. But either way, here I am in the 2X, and I actually really like the way the 2X fits. I kind of suspected this might be the case with a baby doll style like this from haptics. I do find that these kind of dresses are the ones that I tend to size down to the 2X anyways in for haptics. So I am glad that I managed to find this one, because I was able to confirm that. So this is the Sage Blossom Fit and Flare midi dress in fuchsia. This one is retailing for $49, which is a beautiful price for such a gorgeous dress. This one is available, like I said, in sizes small through 3X, with a 1X large being the medium size. So for this one, it is true to size. Christine's in the small, Carrie's in the medium, Melissa wears the 1X, and then I could wear the 2X or the 3X. I do find that the 2X fits me really nicely. I do think that with the 3X, I would just have a little bit more room in the shoulders, and I find I still have lots of room in the waistband. I think if I were to try the 3X, the waist would maybe just sit maybe an inch lower, and it might be a little bit more relaxed in the waistband, but by no means does this feel tight by any means. I would have to try them side by side, but I think honestly, there's a chance I would prefer the fit of the 2X. I think I might have a little bit too much room in the bust for the 3X now that I've tried on the 2X. So I am very happy within the 2X. I could probably wear both. If I had a bigger chest, I would probably size up to the 3X, but because I wear like a 44C/46B, I am smaller chested for someone who wears a 3X, so I am quite comfortable in this one. So it is a poly spandex material for this dress. I was just talking about flutter sleeves. I am a sucker for a good flutter sleeve here. This dress also does have pockets. They're not the deepest pockets, they're not super sturdy, but they are still pockets. They are something to do with your hands, which I love as someone who's very awkward. This dress definitely passes the swoosh check that I love to do. It's a really nice just at the knee length for me. It's just below the knee for most folks, but me being 6'1", it is at the knee for me. And I just love how vivid the colors are. I love that it's predominantly pink, but these little aquamarine splashes in it just really stand out, and these like bright oranges do as well. Absolutely stunning. So again, this is the Sage Blossom Fit and Flare midi dress in fuchsia. $49 for this one, sizes small through 3X. True to size for most of us. I do think that I prefer the 2X over the 3X. I haven't tried on the 3X to confirm, but I could kind of go either way for it. So I would say just true to size generally for this one. All right, so that is everything for the Tuesday Daily Drop. As is tradition lately, we definitely have a lot more plus pieces focused on today, and then the rest are just kind of peppered a little bit throughout the rest of the week. So that is the majority of what we have for plus this week. But now we can move on through the rest of the week. I believe we have some palazzo plants that are launching We have the Presley Palazzo pants in olive that are going to be launching tonight in Plus. So I will find something to style those with and be right back. I'm not sure what I have for later in the week for tops. I might just have to steal one from earlier this week or from today. Okay, let's see what's on the second. Yeah, no plus there. No ducks. Okay. 03. Thursday we've got shorts. Okay, yeah, so I don't actually have any other tops until we get to ampersand for the week. So I do have a t-shirt here from Grace and Lace that is a boyfriend fit that was requested for me to try on. So I'm gonna try that one. If it doesn't work, I'm just gonna put on probably the Haley James tank that I tried on earlier and see how that goes. And but if the Grace and Lace t-shirt works, I'll keep that one on for a while. We typically find Grace and Lace is pretty true to size in terms of, you know, if it's an extra large, it fits like a true extra large and doesn't work for me. But because this one is the boyfriend fit, it is a little bit more spacious. And so, oh yeah, this totally fits actually. Okay, sweet. I'm glad I was able to work that in because Christine's like, whenever you can to just like try it if it works, but it does. So I'm just gonna leave it on for the last few things of my life. Okay, so for reference, this is the Grace and Lace boyfriend tee that launched yesterday. Because it is the boyfriend fit, it is quite generous. So even though this is an extra large, it is fitting me and it is fitting me well. It's not like a super relaxed oversized t-shirt on me, but it's not tight either. Like it's still fitting me more relaxed than not relaxed, if that makes sense. It does have a drop shoulder because that was my concern, is that it would be tight in the shoulders, but because it is still a drop shoulder, I am actually a-okay with how it's fitting for me. It's not tight by any means, so that's really cool. So fun fact, I can indeed wear this Grace and Lace tee. Okay, let's go back to today because that's when these pants are launching. These palazzo pants are going to be launching tonight at 8 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. So these are the Presley Palazzo pants in olive. These ones are retailing for $99 and they have an incredible size range for these ones. They're available in sizes small through 4X, and that includes an extra large and a 1X. So tons of range in the size for these, which I love to see. I'm wearing my typical 3X for these ones, and I would say true to size. Theoretically, I could probably size down to a 2X, but I think it would maybe hug a little bit more around my stomach than I would be comfortable with, whereas the 3X just kind of glides over my legs, glides over my hips, glides over my stomach. I find that the waistband, it's really stretchy and relaxed. It still snaps back enough in the 3X. The 4X would be too big. I think if I were to size up to the 4X, this, even when it's fully kind of squished back in, I think it would be too loose and would slide around and wouldn't stay where it is. Whereas the 3X is that perfect blend of being snug enough that it's not going to move around and go crazy, but it's also still just nicely gliding over everything in the pant. It's not hugging around my stomach or my hips. It's just really smooth and flowy like it is supposed to be. I love the length on these pants as well. They are long enough for me, which is great. If you are a little bit shorter legged than me, which is frankly most of you, you might want to consider wearing these with something with a bit of a heel or potentially getting these hemmed because they do have a lot of length. You could also just probably pull them up a little bit higher and that would help as well, but they are quite long for us tall folk, which makes me very, very excited for these ones. The material on these guys, let me check, is polyester, which I kind of figured. It's like, I'm assuming these are either like a poly blend or a polyester, and they are. There's no stretch in the actual maybe there's like a tiny bit of stretch, but there's not a lot of stretch in the actual like fabric itself. It is because it is the smocked waist is where we're getting that stretch in the waist. So if it's gonna be too tight in the hips, like it wouldn't stretch much to accommodate that. But again, really it's for the waist. And so I would say true to size for these ones. And everyone else would agree based on the sizes here. Christine took her small, Carrie took her usual medium, Melissa's in the 1X as opposed to the extra large, and again, I am in my usual 3X. I would not size down to the 2X because I think it would be a little bit too tight around my stomach area, and the 4X would definitely be too big in the waist for me for these ones. If you're buying a 1X in the press sleeves, they're a little snug, but I'm glad they'll fit. And yeah, and like there is like a little bit of stretch, Abby, so I don't think they'll be like too tight. And again, the magic of the smocked waistband is that it can kind of go up and down with you, which is fantastic. Good for you. Losing weight is not an easy task, so I wish all the luck that you have. Stay healthy while you're doing it, because there's definitely unhealthy ways to lose weight and there's definitely healthy ways to do it. Good luck. Proud of you. All right, anyways, these are the Presley Palazzo pants in olive. Once again, these have an incredible size range all the way from small up to 4X. We all went with our typical sizes, with Melissa opting for the 1X over the extra large, and I opting for my typical 3X, not sizing up or down in these ones. And again, these ones are going to be retailing for $99, and they're launching tonight at 8 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, and there's also a pair of overalls and another pair of tiered pants, but those ones are only available small, medium, large. This is the one pair that is available with a broader size range for that. Okay, let's move on to Thursday, which is Wednesday, April 2nd. I think we have a pair of cropped wide leg jeans. And so once again, I don't have any more tops until we get to like ampersand on Friday. So I'm just going to keep this Grace and Lace t-shirt on for the rest, but I might as well go ahead and show off the Judy. So these ones are going to be part of the Wednesday daily drop. Okay. Oh, what a cute outfit, actually. This top is like the perfect kind of thing to wear with these crops. Okay, so these crops, these are part of the Wednesday daily drop. So they're going to be launching tomorrow at 1 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. These are the Judy Blue High Rise Knee and Hem Destroyed Wide Leg Crops, aka the Crosbys. They're going to be available in sizes 0 through 15 and then 14W through 22W for the plus size range. So pretty much the whole Judy size range. And they are true to size. Everyone wore their typical Judy sizes. So that's Christina in the 3, Carrie's in the 9, Melissa is in her usual 14, and I took my usual 18 for these ones. These ones, it's funny when I first put them on because I saw Christine wearing them, and like they're cropped on Christine, but like only a little bit. Whereas for me, they are definitely clam diggers for me. They are very much cropped. There is no question there. And I remember seeing them on Christine, and I'm like, are these actually supposed to be crops, or are they just really, really short on me? And then I saw the description and was like, okay, no, these are actually meant to be crops, which is good. It's just funny because like, I love taking photos when it's just me and Christine because like we're basically a foot apart. I think because she's 5'1" and I'm 6'1", so we're literally a foot in height difference. And it's so funny to just see like that gap and just like how that translates into like the lengths of pants and stuff is so funny. Because of course, like as you go up in sizes, like the length will go up a little bit to kind of accommodate for that, but only by like maybe an inch at the most in the inseam, usually not even that much. So it always makes me laugh when I see like the difference. And I mean, that's part of why we try to have such a variety of body types to try on the clothes, because people come in a variety of different shapes and we try to show off, you know, how it fits all the shapes. So so these are definitely a crop. They are very, very cropped on me. They're not quite like Bermuda shorts length. They are still like a cropped capri kind of style on me. And that is intentionally so. So it is nice to see kind of, they do have a bit of flare at the knee. So it is kind of interesting to see like where that hits on me being taller versus someone like Christine, where that's going to hit a little bit lower on the leg. We do have some physical distressing on these ones as well. There's a little bit of distressing on the pocket here and on the thigh. And we have, it's almost like a little star shape, which is really cute, but there is a bigger kind of distressed patch. It's not fully open yet, but in my experience, I wear a lot of distressed jeans like this. Eventually these threads will kind of get pulled apart and stuff, and this will open up a bit more, but for a while it is going to be this like almost star-shaped patch. And then if we turn around to the back, less physical distressing, just a little bit on the back pocket here. And then we do have this kind of Western style thread work on the back pockets. And then the wash has a little bit of whiskering and then some fading on the thigh here. And then for the bottom of the cuff, can I balance here well enough to see? Maybe not super great, but it is a, I need to do more yoga, more tree pose apparently, but it is a raw hem on the bottom. So that is going to get a little bit more frayed and worn as you wash them. So that's just going to add to the kind of distressed vibe. But for right off the rack, it is just a raw unfinished hem with no like pre-distressing or anything like that. So once again, these are the Crosby's, or AKA the Judy Blue High Rise Knee and Hem Destroyed Wide Leg Crops. $93 for these ones, and they're going to be available in 0 through 15 and then 14W through 22W. We all wear our typical Judy Blue sizes, which includes myself in my usual 18W for these ones. Okay, sweet. So like I mentioned earlier, nothing else plus for the Wednesday daily drop or the Wednesday Dex drop. So we'll move right along to Thursday. And we have shorts, and everything else is not plus. So I will, again, keep the Judy Blue top on, and I'll go swap into the shorts and be right back. It's a little early to be thinking about like rodeo season just yet, but these shorts are going to be really cute for rodeo season because they have just like the cutest little like subtle hints of Western flair to them. They're super cute. Okay, so again, this is now a Thursday drop, so these will be launching on Thursday, what's today, the 1st, 2nd, the 3rd at 1 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. So these are the Judy Blue High Rise Western Embroidery Cutoff Shorts, aka the Torrens. These ones are retailing for $74, and they're available in sizes small through 3X because, of course, Judy Blue has letter sizing for their shorts as opposed to number sizing. That includes both an extra large and a 1X for these ones. And for sizing, we all took our typical Judy Blue shorts for the most part. Oh, let me correct that. So as I was mentioning before, it seems like we have more often. It's interesting that there'll be a difference between the plus size cut and the straight size cut. So in the straight sizes, so small through extra large, Carrie and Christine both opted to size up. So Christine typically takes a small and she took the medium. Carrie typically takes the medium, she opted for the large. Melissa typically takes the extra large or the 1X, she opted for the 1X, and then I typically take either the 2X or the 3X, more predominantly the 2X, and I did take the 2X in these. I will say that these ones were a closer call than some of the other shorts I've tried on recently, but I did try on the 3X in these as well, and I had just too much room in the hips, in the thighs, and the waist. It's maybe like a tiny bit, it's hard to see because I'm wearing a crop t-shirt. Let me, untuck it, and we can see that like the waist is maybe a tiny bit tight on me, but it's not too bad. And I because I know how Judy Blues tend to loosen up a little bit as they wear, I know that if I were to wear these for even just an hour, that these are going to relax to the point where they're going to fit the way where I want them, whereas the 3Xs off the rack fit a little bit nicer in the waist, but they were just too big everywhere else. I had way too much extra room in the thigh, in the hip, in the butt. Even with these ones, I find I have a little bit more room in the thigh, just because of the way the cut is. So I definitely prefer the 2X from these ones, knowing that the waist, while a little bit more snug, is going to loosen up over time, and it's not so snug that it's causing any issues or anything like that. So I would definitely still stick with my 2X for these ones. But if you are on the fence with this one, I would suggest sizing up like Carrie and Christine did. Just for my own personal preference, the 2X was still the right call for me. So the details that make these the Western embroidery, I'm trying to show off, I think we get that both on Facebook and Instagram there. It's this really cute pink, really light, like baby pink. These would have been really good actually with today's daily drops with all the pink stuff, because we just get this really fun little pink detail here in this very like Western style. And then it is a lighter wash with even lighter feathering. And then it is a raw hem. And with this hem, this one has been I guess it's not entirely raw, because there is a stitch here to kind of prevent it from shredding up too far. So it is going to stay just kind of frayed a little bit. And then if I get up, this is going to be harder to see, but I'm doing my best. You can see there's also some of this pink embroidery kind of coming up the hem here, and it kind of skirts up here, and then it goes in the back as well. So we are getting more of that fun pink Western style embroidery on the side of the shorts. I do wish they had put some on the back pockets as well. Maybe they tried that in production and figured that that was just too much. But I do think that having that hint on the back pockets as well would have been a really cute touch. But we do just get the wash there. And again, no other distressing, it's just that frayed hem on the edges. And I did misspoke, it's not a raw hem. There is a finishing seam, so it is just going to stay frayed. It's not going to continue to fray further up the denim. It's going to stay right there where it is. And then again, the Western part being trimming the front pockets here, and then on the sides there's a little bit of that pink trim detail as well. So again, these are the Torrens, or in other words, the Judy Blue high-rise Western embroidery cutoff shorts. $74 for these ones, and they're available in sizes small through 3X with both an extra large and a 1X. If you're between Judy Blue sizes, we recommend sizing up. I did still stick with my 2X, but these ones were like pretty borderline for me. It was kind of, I could have gone either way, but I did prefer the fit of the 2X, kind of taking them being just slightly tighter in the waist, because they fit everywhere else much better. But Christine and Carrie did both opt to size up in these ones. So straight says, like the regular sizes especially, we would suggest sizing up from your typical Judy Blue short size. Okay, and then I don't think I have anything for Thursday evening either. Nope, I do not. So what do we have for Friday? I think it's just ampersand, but I'll double check. Nothing. Yes, so we're moving straight on to the ampersand stuff. It's where from wearing like cute crop tee and shorts to like very cozy, comfy hoodies and stuff. So I do have, we have some university pullovers, and we have another matching checkered set. So I'll try those on and be right back. Okay. The color combo on this check set reminds me of like chocolate strawberries, or like Neapolitan ice cream. I guess there's not enough white to be the vanilla, but it definitely is like chocolate ice cream and strawberry ice cream. we go. So here we have the first of the ampersand drops. I'm not sure if I have prices in here, but I might, so we'll double check. Do I have prices? Okay, I do, perfect. So this set, this is the Worth Your While set. So the hoodie is the University hoodie in Worth Your While. This one's gonna be retailing for $82, sizes extra small to 3X, which is typical for ampersand. And this one is, I wear my typical 3X in this. I wear 3X pretty universally in everything ampersand, bottoms especially, but in the tops, 90% of the time, I am also going to prefer a 3X for this one. It fits, I won't go too much into the fit because we've had lots of university hoodies at this point. It fits exactly the same as all of my other university hoodies. I have the one from Valentine's Day that was like the fuchsia and red checker print. It feels exactly the same. I wear that one all the time. I'll get up close so we can see, like, I feel like these specific shades of brown and pink, like, really, really, really scream Neapolitan ice cream. I feel like if you paired these, I have the set that came with the shorts that was like the ivory with the pink hearts. I feel like if I wore this hoodie with those shorts, then it would be like Neapolitan for sure, because then you're getting like the vanilla in the shorts. But this, I can't get it out of my head. At first I was like chocolate strawberry, and I'm like, but specifically Neapolitan ice cream. Or I guess you could pair it with something that's like pistachio green, and then it could be like spumoni ice cream, because it's kind of like black cherry ice cream. Right, Abby, I love this set. I love the color combo. I like that this one is a little bit softer compared to the like black and white set that came out. It's a little bit less like in your face than the red and pink set. I feel like this is still fun, still colorful, but it's more subdued colors that are gonna be a little bit like more approachable and easy to pair, especially having the neutral brown mixed into it. So again, this is the University hoodie in Worth Your While. I'm wearing my typical 3X and it's $82. And then the pants are the checkered joggers, that is the style name. And again, the shade is Worth Your While. So these are the matching set. The pants are gonna be retailing for $70 and they're available in the full size range, extra small to 3X. I believe we all wear our typical sizes. I'm just double checking. Yes, so Christine in the extra small, Carrie in the medium. Melissa does size up to a 2X in the pants, just I believe for some more length and for some more room in the hips. And I am good with my usual 3X for these ones. I do like the length on these. I find that as a tall person, after a wash or two, even though I hang them to dry, I do find that they kind of tighten up a bit and they do listen up. I think part of that is also just because I sit like cross-legged and stuff, or just throughout the evening, my pants tend to like bunch up around my knees and look a little bit shorter anyways. But off the rack, they are a really nice length and they do have a very significant cuff. So even if you aren't long-legged folk like I am, they're gonna stay cuffed at your ankle. They're not gonna be falling down because, sorry, excuse me, I am so sorry. But because it is a pretty significant cuff, they're not gonna be like falling down. They're definitely gonna stay at your ankle, even if you are a little bit less long-gammed than me, which again is most folks. So again, this is the Worth Your While set, both pieces extra small to 3X. The hoodie is 82 and the pants are going to be 70. And then we have a university hoodie and a university pullover coming out as well on Friday. These ones are not part of a set. Because I'm already wearing a university, we know how they fit. I am just going to pull these guys over so that we can take a look. The first one we have here, this is the Miss You Most, and this one's going to be retailing for $82, which is the same price as the university hoodies. This one is this really gorgeous, like muted antique blue over a heathered gray background. I feel like this is like cool, like rainy day spring vibes. This would look really gorgeous kind of as like a fall or a spring transitional piece. This will pair really well with like brown leather boots or something like that. I find that navy and like brown leathers just always look incredible together. So this one's gonna be retailing for $82 as well. And then we have, this one's gonna be $80 for the university pullover. So this one is hooded, this one is not. And this guy is the, what do we call this one? The Mixed Feelings. I love the different textures and patterns in this one. This one's definitely very like whimsical, almost like cottagecore vibes a little bit with all the different floral prints. I love that it's this kind of like minty sage as the predominant color. They're all very like green based prints, but different kinds of green. So we've got this more kind of yellowy pattern going on the neckline. We've got this fun ditzy, kind of like antique looking floral. Like it almost looks like it could be on a cool like Persian rug or something you'd find at the antique store. And then on the cuffs, we have that same pattern that matches the neckline here. So we're tying that back in. And then again, on the primary body, we have this kind of mint green and pink one going on. Definitely like fun, eclectic, whimsical vibes for this one. It's super cute. I'm glad you agree, Abby. It's Neapolitan for sure. So again, that is the ampersand launch. We've got the university hoodie and pullover that I just showed. And then of course the Worth Your While / I have dubbed it the Neapolitan sets that are coordinated. And again, they're going to be available in the typical full ampersand size range of extra small up to 3X for those ones. And I'm just double checking for a weekend launch. I don't think I saw anything on my rack, but I will just check just in case, because sometimes I can be surprised. So we do have some tee and short sets, but these ones are small, medium, large only. So unfortunately for plus, this is where the week will be ending. At least we did get to try on some ampersand. I feel like it's been a while since we've been getting the stock kind of like as it comes in, like while I'm here. So I haven't been able to actually try on a lot of the ampersand because by the time we actually get it processed and everything, I've already done my live for the week. So I'm glad I was actually finally able to try on a set for you guys because I love ampersand. That's like half my lavender and lace purchases are probably ampersand for sure. But anyways, it was lovely to see everybody again. For those who joined late or just don't remember me, even though I yap here every week, my name is Michelle. I am the 3X model here at Lavender and Lace Boutique. I go live every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time to try on all of the plus size pieces that are launching throughout the week, or even if they're not technically plus size, like that Grace and Lace t-shirt I tried on, if there's something that we think will work for someone in a plus size body, I will try it on and discuss, just because we want to make sure that everyone knows their options, and just because the size or letter or number on the label says something doesn't necessarily mean that's how it is or isn't going to fit. So if that is something that interests you, if you want to listen to me yap at you yet again, you know where to find me here, wherever you are watching on Facebook or Instagram, on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. Previously standard, now daylight because we have daylight savings times here. Anyways, once again, my name is Michelle. I wear a 3X top and bottom, and I am 6'1" for height reference. Thank you all for joining me, and I will see you all again next week. Bye-bye.